A church group sings for peace in the western Kenyan town of Kisumu. Here many voted for the opposition in last month's elections, but the results were manipulated and unrest here has been widespread. So this church group has real need to pray for peace.
Because Raila is the winner of the election. We know that. So we are praying if God can answer our prayer.
The opposition leader, Raila Odinga, is commonly considered to be the real winner in the election. But former President Kibaki seized power, more or less illegally.
We still do not have a president. We don't recognize Kibaki's presidency, and we will refer to him as Mr. Kibaki until the people's president is sworn in. That is Raila Odinga.
The people who live in the western part of Kenya complain of neglect. The roads connecting to the capital Nairobi are in a terrible condition, and recent riots haven't improved things. Many businesses and shops are now closed in expectance of renewed violence, and high unemployment and poverty fuels these riots. So many here want change.
They really believe in a change they voted in, and that's why they are still pushing forward to get the change they yearn for, so that the opportunities can open up at the end of the day. That's why people are determined. And unless justice is taken care of, talk about peace, talk about unity, it will be null and void.
But President Kibaki sternly refuses renewed elections. The opposition and people here feel that they've been cheated. Their will to fight for justice is strong.
We cannot get it unless we are committed to it. That means we are even prepared for the bullets. But we don't have the weapons. If we had the weapons, we are prepared even for war.
If this thing can't solve, we are appealing for international body to come in and overthrow this man from the office. And if they fail to do that, we are ready to fight like Rwanda and Burundi. And we are for that. We are going to fight in the bush for sure.
We have decided to die so that the coming generation will benefit. If we quit and suffer, the coming generation will suffer too. In Kenya, though mixed marriages are common, tribalism is very much alive. Politicians often rely on their own ethnic group to gain power, and this enhances mistrust between ethnic groups, particularly during election time. Now, in Kisumu, it is dangerous to belong to the wrong tribe.
Definitely. As at now, things are not right, so you must be wary of our security.
So why do you, especially you, fear for your security?
I don't come from this place. I walk around and I fear now that the country is divided along ethnic lines. I'm a foreigner. I'll say I'm a foreigner.
Many African leaders have created huge fortunes for themselves. The ability to achieve personal wealth makes many top leaders do everything to stay in power.
They are using their self-interest, they are using their own individual interests to conflate it or to mix it up with their community interests. So they are using the name of their communities, they are using the name of their tribe in order to mobilize sentiments around either support for Kibaki or support for Raila. So there is what we can call collective spirit that they are trying to mobilize simply because they have got a lot to gain politically. They have got a lot to gain economically.
In Kericho, some of the 100,000 displaced live as refugees in the town park. Many have horrible stories to tell about how the ongoing tribal violence has affected them.
Because some of us, we vote for Kibaki president. That's why these Kipsigs and the Luo, they are killing us.
The camp is primitive. The displaced sleep on the ground. They don't have any homes left, and when the rain starts later this year, the situation will be desperate.
Nothing. Home where? They already burnt their houses. And with our belongings, they burn all.
Even chasing us where we are doing job.
Yes, even if you go there, they will kill you.
Water and food is doled out by aid agencies. Most people here are poor workers at the nearby tea plantations, which lie idle now. According to many here, there is a sinister plan among highly positioned local politicians to play the ethnic groups against each other in a dirty game.
Yeah, even some of the members of the parliaments, at least they are the people who are supporting this, because maybe they were promised something like Majimbo. And then once they were promised that one, they were told that once we take over, we will make sure that this land is left for you.
On the surface, Kenya seems to be a modern society, but clear policies aimed at reducing tensions between tribes have never been introduced.
It meant that even before the elections, the Kenyans, they are people who are already holding grudges and people who are looking for just a very minute opportunity so that they may do any kind of evil that they were
people's tribalism and believing that we're all divided and not being together. These politicians actually sending a wrong message sometimes in their rallies and everything, because they should be more careful about what they say and what they do, because people do follow them and people really listen to what they say.
The parliament is considered powerless compared to the president, who is also commander-in-chief. No political reforms have been introduced by President Kibaki.
President Kibaki de-emphasized democratic governance, de-emphasized a politics of inclusion, so that he could pursue economic growth and economic recovery. And that's where the conflict has been. That's where the tension is.
Kenya's economy is largely self-sufficient, so international pressure threatening a reduction in development aid lacks leverage. The US particularly has openly criticised the Kibaki regime, but so far without result. The will among the Kibaki entourage to stay in power is too strong.
We are not in a situation where the individuals around President Kibaki will feel threatened by the issue of sanctions, for instance, or feel threatened about international communities talking very hard on Kenya. They may not want to listen that language. So diplomacy from the Americans, diplomacy from the British, and diplomacy from other international development partners is what may work. But I don't think if that diplomacy failed and they started using threats, I don't think the government will really succumb to that.
But the ethical question needs to be addressed immediately, some researchers claim.
If they fail to do that during the coming few months, the violence is not going to die down. It's going to become uncontrollable because the violence is going to have a dynamic of its own.
Surrounding countries like Somalia and Burundi, even Rwanda in the worst case, show how easily the ethnic powder keg can explode.
The lessons are there that if we really do not deal with our politics properly, we risk taking this country down the brink, and the consequences are unimaginable. If 1 million people died in Rwanda, it could be much, much worse in this country.
It seems those of the wrong tribe are to be chased away and ethnically clean areas are to be created in Kenya. The displaced, along with everyone else in Kenya, await this worst-case scenario with bated breath. And it could well happen.
We are told if you will not go to your home, you will be cutted and you will be killed.